Hello,
today
Beth.
we'll
Welcome
be
to
down
sunny
under
Sydney.
Towns
Oh, thank
today
you for having me.
Hi, I'm Paul Rushworth-Brown, host of History Bards, Down Under interviews in association with Meet the Author, Indie Book Source in the US. And I am here with David Hatton. David, the Witch of Woodplumpton. Come on, isn't that something that little girls with pigtails should be reading?
Not all. I mean, fair point with the title, but no, it's actually very much for a book for adults. It's an historic fiction book based on the true story of a rumoured witch here in Lancashire, England, and in other ways, historic fiction, a mixture of the two.
In The Witch of Woodplumpton by David Hatton, the eerie legend of Meg Shelton takes on new life. As Reverend Isaac Armstrong confronts the unsettling truth behind her restless spirit. Set in the early 18th century village of Woodplumpton, where superstition reigns, and loneliness can drive a person to the brink of madness. The story follows Isaac's quest to prove Meg was not a witch. The townsfolk grow increasingly convinced of her dark powers, with a gripping mix of historical intrigue, mystery, and supernatural elements. This novel explores the fine line between ignorance and fear, and the power of belief in shaping reality.
The fascinating thing I found when researching about the history of witches, people didn't even need any evidence. You could trial somebody just on hearsay, and that was really striking. And a lot of the people who were arrested, usually beggars or potentially women who weren't married or didn't have children, or may have been interested in medicine. Men who worked in medicine were considered, the equivalent of what a doctor would be today. But for women, it was a lot of superstition around clever women, effectively.
Yeah,
there's nothing. We don't know a lot about her. The character I developed as part of that, I really became very fond of her. People believe that she shapeshifted into a hare. At one time, a farmer believed that a bag of corn in his barn was her, and he stabbed a fork into it. He believed he heard the bag scream. So there's so many different rumors about her.
In the volatile province of Britannia, AD 59, Venator, Roman equestrian one, follows Decimus, a seasoned centurion, and Luciana, a fierce Celtic princess, as they navigate a deadly conflict that ignites their mutual attraction. Bound by their passion for horsemanship but divided by loyalty, they must confront a growing unrest led by mysterious druids and power-hungry factions. Amidst the chaos of mounting casualties and political intrigue, Decimus and Luciana grapple with their volatile relationship and the relentless quest for control over Britannia's future. Step into the rugged world of Plymouth, 1620, where Sarah, a courageous woman, embarks on an unforgiving journey in the New World. Amidst the treacherous unknown, she faces starvation, death, and the harsh realities of early colonial life. On the wings of the red-tailed hawk, masterfully weaves historical authenticity with an inspiring tale of resilience, as Sarah discovers her inner strength to survive against overwhelming odds. This award-winning novel, lauded for its evocative writing and powerful portrayal of women's triumphs in history, is a must-read for lovers of gripping historical fiction. Join Sarah on her harrowing yet empowering journey and witness the indomitable spirit that defines the true pioneers of America.
So tell me, I mean, this idea of sort of like loneliness continues to sort of like crop up. Tell us a little bit about that.
I think it was a very lonely time, and there's a lot within that. There's a lot of anger, upset, and people want somebody to blame. And the easy person to blame in that is the person that doesn't have any friends. and doesn't have a family around her, and is seen a bit unusual because she's not married. And I imagine that is very isolating for somebody like Meg.
From what I understand, she does have an ally.
She does, yeah. So she has the young boy who she's befriended. But yes, the vicar of St. Anne's Church, and it's really important I stress this, Meg is the only real character in this book. Everybody else is completely fictional. But I created Isaac Armstrong, who's the Reverend of St. Anne's Church in this novel. He's always had a bit of a soft spot for her, and doesn't like the fact that the locals seem to have this suspicious nature about her. He is a man of the cloth. He doesn't really believe in superstition. He doesn't really believe in this otherworldly, demonized spirit which is in his town. He believes in God, and he believes in love, and he believes in kindness, and he finds it a bit blasphemous that these town folk are all trying to blame a woman that's no longer even alive for everything that's going wrong in the town.
Yeah. Okay, so out of the characters in there, which one do you think has the most of your personality?
Oh, that's hard. I think in an element, I think everybody's main character has probably the most. So I would say Isaac is the main character in this book. He's the person that appears in every chapter. He's the person that pulls this story through. And I'd like to think I have Isaac's qualities in terms of how open-minded he is and kind. I'd like to think that. But also I think I see myself in the young boy that befriends Meg as well. He reminds me of me when I was younger. I was never the most popular. I was probably the unusual one who also, my friends when I was 5 and 6 were all the old ladies and old gentlemen living in the town. If it was on holiday, I wouldn't be beelining for the other kids. I used to beeline for the pensioners that were there on holiday. So I think there's definitely elements of me and him. And with Meg, I'd like to think that I have her wit.
In 15th century Hungary, return to the Eyrie. An epic coming-of-age tale. The young noblewoman Margit Szilagyi, raised in exile, defies societal constraints to seek revenge for her father's murder. Disguised as a man, she infiltrates her ancestral home, driven by a fierce quest for justice. Set against the backdrop of medieval Hungary's tumultuous history, this gripping narrative intertwines honor, love, and the fight against the Ottoman advance.
Baby, You're Worth It follows the heart-wrenching story of Tabitha, a mother whose joy is shattered by unforeseen tragedy during the birth of her second child. Faced with the devastating consequences of medical errors, Tabitha must navigate life-altering decisions, balancing her job, her mother's deteriorating health, and the needs of her children. Amidst pain and trauma, Tabitha embarks on an inspiring journey of courage, love, and resilience to reclaim her happiness and heal what's broken inside.
She sounded very mischievous, so I sort of really played on the mischievy of Meg Shelton, sorry, and I thought that would be a great character trait.
So the novel is, from what I've read, is non-linear.
So I think the most interesting thing about Meg was the fact that she kept resurfacing from her grave after she died. And that, growing up, because I used to go and visit her grave when I was little, I've been a few times since, that's always the most interesting thing about her. So I needed the book to be set after she died. But I still felt it was really important that we understood her character and the time and the life that she was living with him. So my main character is Isaac, who is the Reverend of St. Anne's Church. He is discovering that she is resurfacing, and there's other factors happening in the village, like people's crops are dying and milk is souring. People are blaming it all on Meg Shelton, even though she's died. And Isaac's trying to uncover why do people have this view about Meg Shelton? He's also suspicious that somebody in the town is behind the happenings. And so he's doing a bit of investigating about who would have a vendetta against this poor dead woman. And so it jumps backwards and forth to be able to, as he's discovering something, we get to go back and experience it in Meg's eyes as such. And I think that's the way we could really build empathy with Meg and understand a little bit about her character. I think I'm a very empathetic writer. And for me, it's a huge importance to even your worst character or the most evil character that you understand why do they behave like that. And I think the people of Woodplumpton are inherently good, but they've just been misinformed. And I think that says a lot about our community in, whether it's the UK or the wider world today. I think people are inherently good, but often they are misinformed. And that causes bigotry, that causes people to be suspicious of people. And I thought that was really important to show their relationships and their setbacks to make the reader understand why they behaved in that way.
Senlac, a two-part historical novel by Julian Delamotte, immerses readers in the turbulent period leading to the Norman conquest of England in 1066. The novel vividly portrays a kingdom in crisis following the death of King Edward the Confessor. Harold, the Earl of Wessex, is hastily crowned king but faces immediate threats. This meticulously crafted work is poised to be a landmark in historical fiction, captivating fans with its authenticity and emotional depth.
Charles McClare, nominated for the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction, said, "Somehow Julian summons up an image of the Europe of 1,000 years ago, an account that feels real."
So, what's next?
I will write again once I'm inspired.
Yeah, and your partner, does he sort of like think, oh, too much time? Come and spend some time with me.
Absolutely. He's also called David, by the way, with the two Davids. He calls himself an author's widow at certain times of the year. So
David Hatton, it's been wonderful having you on the show. You're a great personality, and I wish you the very, very best with this novel and obviously future novels.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, David.